Hello! Welcome everyone. My name is Kelsey. Welcome to Malta. Today we are at a little fishing village, and this is a one-time tour. I arrived and I thought, oh my goodness, I have to share. So glad, happy to have you here today. Do let me know where you are tuning in from, and if you have ever been to Malta before. We just have a couple minutes before the tour officially starts. So while everyone is getting here, first you can see we are in a very beachy place. Hello, welcome Ruth, welcome, welcome Adrian, welcome Larissa, welcome everyone. So happy to have you all here. Um, so I think I've seen a lot of you before, but if you don't know me, my name is Kelsey, and I'm originally from Chicago. But my husband and I just moved to Spain, so we officially live in Valencia now. We just got our residency cards last week, so we are so very happy to officially be staying, and we do hope to buy a house in the next couple of years. So hopefully I can continue giving you all tours with my dorky hat. So while everyone is just getting here, we are in Malta today, and I took a bus about a half an hour south and found this little tiny fishing village that has a really popular fishing market on Sundays. And as tiny as the town is, a lot of people know about this fishing market. So as I was finding the bus, I went up to the information people and I said, "Hi, I would like to go to the fishing village in Marsaxlokk." And they go, "You see the giant crowd of people over there? Yeah, that's your bus." So we are in a very busy place today. You can hear all of the church bells going and whatnot, but I have some very beautiful views for you. So now that you have officially seen me, we're just going to walk around the harbor, and I'm just going to tell you a little bit about it. So welcome to Seagull number one, which is the address that I'm standing by. If this is your first tour with Hago, in terms of using the platform, you can see all the little comments popping up and whatnot. You are my eyes and ears to the tour. So if you ever can't see me or hear me, do let me know in the comments, and I will do what I can to adjust. And you can also take basically screenshots, or what we call postcards, which means you click the little button and it takes a picture from my camera, which means there's no weird pixels or anything. It comes across very clearly, which I think is fun. And then you can access those after the tour to share or whatnot. All right, so now that you have seen me, let's get going. Okay, I'm just gonna cross the street. We are in Marsaxlokk. Marsaxlokk, which is a very small town on the south side of Malta. And I just want to walk along this beautiful harbor with you and share these beautiful scenes. It is a Sunday here. I suppose it's Sunday everywhere, or most everywhere right now. But the Sundays are very special because, first of all, it's Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day for all of the moms joining us today. And this is when the fishermen come back with all of their fish, and this is when they share it with everyone. There we go. So just some facts for you as everyone is arriving. For those of you who are just getting here, my name is Kelsey, and we are in Malta today, which is its own country. It does not belong to Spain or to Italy. It is about 60 miles south of Sicily, right in the very middle of the Mediterranean. Lots of warm weather here, also lots of Insta models, as you can see. And it's very warm today, not as warm as, from what the locals say, not as warm as what they are used to. Everyone is upset about how cold it is, but I can just about handle this heat, and that's pretty much it for me. So I will hopefully not die of heat stroke. So let me tell you a little bit about Marsaxlokk. So this is the largest fishing village in Malta and one of the very last ones that remain here. We're going to go walk along this little pier. And do keep an eye out for these colorful boats because they have a very specific name. They are called Lutso or Lutsu. And if we're talking about multiple, we call them Lutsi. There we go. And there are even some shells here on the ground. I just want to show you. They're not very pretty, but they are from the ocean. That is so cool. And they're just kind of sitting here with all of these other ones. Here's another one. I realize it's covered in sea things, but you can see all the shells that are in this. And these are just everywhere. There's a little crab in there too. I don't think the crab's alive anymore, but all right. Let's go over here and have a look at some of the beautiful boats. We're sort of on the very end. So this is a popular location, especially amongst locals for Sunday lunch. It's crazy. They're just everywhere. I know. They are all over. Look at these. I love how colorful they are too. So there are about 4,000 people that live here. And there were a number of military posts out here built by the British to protect this harbor during World War II. Some of them are still here, but Malta is no longer at risk for being attacked. So they're there more for out of habit and for tourist locations too. Let me just kind of pan around here. This is a very busy place. Oh, it is a little windy, so excuse the wind if you are hearing a little bit of that. Isn't this beautiful? So Marsaxlokk, this is a harbor, and it has around 4,000 people in this town. And this is known mainly for this fishing market. And as we walk, we're going to see some fishermen selling their fish, which I think is very cool. This market has been here since at least the 9th century. So you are in the presence of history here. Look at these cute little boats. Oh, I love them. So these colorful boats, they're very traditional. They're called Lutsu, Luzzu, or Luzzi, if we're talking about more than one, which is an Italian word, but if you notice, we're not in Italy. We are just about 60 miles south of Sicily, so everyone here speaks Maltese, which is a mix of Latin, Arabic, Phoenician, and uses some Latin letters, but also everyone here speaks English thanks to the British occupation that was here for 200 years. Then also Italy, or Italian rather. About 70% of people here are fluent in Italian. Many people are also fluent in French and Spanish, as we are very close to both of those borders. I was chatting with my Airbnb host this morning, and I said, what, like, you were born here? Have you been here all your life? And she goes, no, my mother's Greek, and she lived in Egypt, so I was born in Egypt. And then I picked up some Italian from my husband, and then I picked up some French. I also speak Greek. Now I speak English. I learned Maltese in school. I said, how many languages do you speak? And she goes, oh, only 6. But you speak 6 languages. That is amazing. But it makes sense here. This is a very international place. Here we go. Welcome to those of you who are just joining. We are in Marsaxlokk in Malta here. And we are checking out these adorable boats. These are called lutsi, and they are traditional fishing boats that are loved by locals, of course, but also very much loved by tourists. Aren't these beautiful? And you can hear all the church bells going in the background. It smells a little fishy here, I have to say, which sort of tells you how fresh these waters are. If you look down in the water, I'll find a place that doesn't have so much of a reflection for us. Ooh, actually, here's a pretty good spot. We can see the little fish swimming around under the water here. The little black dots. But the water is very clear. It's basically bright blue. All right. There we go. There's some of the more beautiful water here. So Marsaxlokk comes from an Arabic word, Marsa, which means port. And you can see the Maltese flag here in the back, the white and red. And then Xlokk, which is the Maltese word for southeast, so southeast port. So in case you're wondering where we were in Malta, we are on the southeast port. Isn't that beautiful? So we are on the main island of Malta, and it is the biggest island. Even all combined, there are 3 main inhabited islands. Even all combined, Malta is still only 122 or 124, there's a debate, square miles. So not too big at all. There are about 500,000 people on the island, the total island of Malta, and around 4,000 of them live in this tiny little town. All right, we're going to keep walking around here. There are lots of things being sold, lots of touristy things, but I just have to get past all these to share some more of the boats with you. Welcome to all of you who are just joining. My name is Kelsey, and we are in Malta today. We are in a very tiny town called Marsaxlokk, which is known for these beautiful fishing boats. Well, you can see people are coming back from their little boat tour. Oh, that's cool. There are lots of people walking around. Everyone is dressed up very nice here. It's very sunny. And it's only, if we're thinking in Fahrenheit, it's only about 70 degrees Fahrenheit. What is that, maybe 16, 17 in Celsius? Not too hot. But Malta is the sunniest place in the world. So lots of sunshine here. I did want to share these magnets with you. These are all handmade by this man and his family. I was chatting with him earlier, and this has been his family business for the last, well, he says 100 years, but who knows? Could have been longer. And again, these little boats are known as lutsi. And a little bit more about these lutsi that we're looking at. They are they are the main fishermen fishing boats here. And you can also, as a tourist, you can take one of these little fishing boats out and explore the islands. But they are these colorful. They're mostly green, yellow, red, and blue. And these are the traditional colors here in Marsaxlokk. All of these boats are really brightly painted, and they're very distinct. So you won't find, well, you will find bright boats everywhere, of course, but these all they can't be painted pink or orange or whatnot. They all have to be painted roughly the same color pattern. I'm gonna scooch over a little bit farther so we can see them a little bit better. We'll also be able to see the Eye of Horus here, which is an Egyptian symbol of protection. And all of the boats have the Eye of Horus on them. So here is the Eye of Horus. And again, this is an Egyptian symbol, and it's painted on all of these boats here. Let's see if we can find it on one of the bigger ones. You can eat all kinds of seafood at these restaurants. We have some of the freshest fish here in Malta, as a lot of these restaurants will meet the boats as they're coming in from their morning catches and say, okay, I want this, and I want this. So when I first got here, there were a bunch of restaurateurs out here picking their choices that they were going to use for their lunch specials, and then they would bring them back, and the hostesses would then rewrite the menus, which I think is cool. They would say, okay, today we're having octopus, or we're having squid, or we're having a variety of whatever they caught and then chose. As good as the fish is here, the boats, I have to say, are the main attraction. And I'm not the only one who thinks so. Everyone else is here to see the boats. And this is what they mainly use to advertise the tourism industry in Malta. You can see all the limestone buildings behind us here also. We're gonna keep walking. It is a little bit loud here. I did want to show you all of the fishing nets. This is one of the areas that the boats come in, and the fishermen say, okay, we caught this, and we caught this, and we caught this. Who wants what, and how much will you pay for it? I think that's so interesting. Isn't this beautiful? So this town itself is known for these fishing boats. But of course, the market, which is only selling fish on Sundays, this is a huge attraction here as well. And people come from all over the islands. They bring their little dogs. People come from all over the islands to see these beautiful boats and this beautiful harbor. There's also a natural pool out past these hills over here on the other side of the hills. And it is called St. Peter's Pool. And it's a natural pool carved into the Maltese coast. It has a horseshoe shape, And it's a great spot for swimming in case any of you get the hankering to just jump in. I did want to show you what it looks like here. Of course, that's the most impossible thing to see right now because it is so bright. Let's see if we can come down here. Oh, we can see it a little bit. Okay, that's good. Yeah, so this is the pool, this dark spot at the bottom here. And here you can see, I know it's so bright, but you can see the little horseshoe shape here. This is the natural pool that we have right across the harbor over there, again called St. Peter's Pool. And these flat rocks surround the whole thing, so you can literally just jump in. I love this. Those bells have been going for probably 30, 40 minutes. Oh, here are some more of the fish. For those of you who would like to see some of the tiny ones, somebody fed them bread, but there are little black fish swimming around. Oh, here's some more. There we go. Oh, there they are. Said hello and then my phone died. Oh no, Ruth, well, I'm glad you're back. Yeah, so here are some of the fish of the harbor. Which, the fish, I have to say, are pretty much everywhere here. Anytime you look in the water, you see little fish swimming around. They are really going after this piece of bread. Goodness. All right. Again, we are in Marsaxlokk, for those of you who are just joining us. This is in the southeast part of the biggest island of Malta. And this is a little known area. Now, of course, it's very popular because of this market. So you can see there are lots and lots of people. But before the market became a huge touristy spot, this was a little known area, and it was where all of the pirates used to come and raid this part of town. This was sort of the weakest part of Malta because it was so far away from Valletta, which is where they had all of their the guys who were protecting the port, or the ports and the harbors. You can hear the little waves, and I am smelling a lot of seafood here. I'd love to know your favorite kind of seafood. I cannot get into octopus. I feel bad for the octopi, though I always hear about the new rules that are starting in terms of eating an octopus, so it makes me sad, so I usually just choose chicken. Oh, you can see this flag here, and it sort of looks like the Scottish flag, but it is not. It is the Marsaxlokk flag here. And actually, the coat of arms looks very similar. It's just we can't see it right now, but it's the shape of a coat of arms, but it just has the same blue and white pattern. I love squid. Oh, okay. I might have to try squid because I've had the squid ink pasta before, or rice rather. That's pretty good, I have to say. So we are looking at some more of these lutsi, which are these traditional fishing boats here in Marsaxlokk, which means southeast port. This village is very popular with tourists, of course, but also amongst the locals. So there are lots of people who are very much from here, and you can tell that they are not so pleased with all of the locals that are or the tourists that are running around. But alas, that's the price of living somewhere beautiful, I suppose. It is Mother's Day here today, so happy Mother's Day to all of you moms in the audience, all of you pet moms in the audience as well. All right, we're going to go over here where we can see some of the fishermen still working. I'm going to zoom in actually. We have a very good spot over here. There are guys that are pulling their nets up after having dumped their big loot on the ground and trying to separate the fish that will be sold for the day. And look at all the guys with the fishing rods. Oh, that's so cool. So we don't know too much about Marsaxlokk in general, but what we do know is that it was frequently raided by pirates from the Barbary coast. And during the Middle Ages as well. This was one of the main harbors throughout history, and it continues to thrive here. How beautiful these boats are. So these are the Lutzi. These are very colorful. They are all yellow, red, blue, and green. This is beautiful. So these boats, some of these boats have been handed down from family to family. And it's not quite like in Venice, where if you are what do they call the guys that have the little hats and sing? I am totally blanking, but those folks can only pass their boats and their business down to family members, whereas a lot of these boats are handed down between family and friend. Gondoliers, thank you, Kimberly. I feel like such a bad opera singer for getting the name gondoliers. Did you know the very first gondolier, very first female gondolier rather, happened in 1990? Her dad had died and she was the last family member, and she thought, you know what? It's my turn now, because typically they are only handed down to male relatives, and she thought, well, it's my boat now. All right, we are almost to the end here of this beautiful port. Thank you all so much for joining me today. I have this was sort of a surprise tour because I showed up and I thought I just have to share this with everyone. Here is one of the last little stops I wanted to show you. This is a statue of, here we go. This is a statue of representing the family history that is presented here. You can see everyone here is really into these little statues. This is the dad who is bringing back all the fish, and then he's teaching his son here. He's got a very little dog. Teaching his son here to also be the next fishermen in line. And oh, I don't want to get in their picture, but I do want to show you the rest of it. There we go. There we go. And oh, and here's an example of the Maltese language. Now, I'm not going to read it for you, as I would greatly mispronounce it, but you can see a little bit of what it looks like here. It's a mix between Phoenician and Arabic. There are some Polish letters, and then also Latin. So historians call this modern day Latin. Oh, thank you, Adrian. Thank you, Harrison, for your tips. Greatly appreciated. All right. We have just one more view for you, and then I will bid you all farewell. Thank you all so much for joining me today for this surprise tour. Later this evening, we are headed to Valletta, which is the capital of Malta, and we will be learning all of the old town highlights and history of Malta. If you came to my hidden gems and culture and food tour yesterday, I would love to have you back again. Today we are seeing some more beautiful locations. Okay. Here's just another little bit of the fishermen that are doing their work, and here is some of the fish that are being sold. And some of the fishermen, the fishermen's wives, I presume. And there are some dogs here also. I'm going to scooch around here and then say goodbye to all of you. I did want to show you one last thing here too, which is their church. Here we go. Let's get a little bit closer here. So this church was built in 1890, and this is the church that the town finally decided to build when they thought, okay, people are settling here, because originally it had just been a harbor that the fishermen would use and then go back into their own towns. But this is when this church was built in 1890, this sort of solidified the fact that people would be living here and they would settle here. So the community itself was established after this church was built in 1897. So beautiful. All right. Well, thank you all so much for joining me today on our last minute tour of Malta's fishing village, Marsaxlokk. And I look forward to seeing you all at my Old Town tour of Malta this evening. I'm not sure what time zone you are in, but it starts about 6 hours from now. So if you are still awake and wanting to see some of the beautiful Old Town highlights of Malta, I would love to have you there. Ruth says starts at 1 a.m. for me. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, Ruth, I will let you know how it goes. Well, thank you all so much for coming. Tomorrow we are headed to the ancient capital of Medina, which is, so Valletta is currently the capital, but Medina is the very, very old capital that was the main city back in the 800s. So we have lots to see there. So I do look forward to seeing you in Medina tomorrow as well. And then Saturday and Sunday, I am heading over to Cordoba in Spain, where I will see and share with all of you the Patio Flower Festival, which is this fabulous festival that happens only in May, where everyone opens their doors and you can see flowers that decorate their patios from floor to ceiling, which is fascinating. So I do hope you are able to join me next week as well. And then on Saturday, that is when we will see Old Town of Cordoba, which is it has the mosque and church and cathedral in one building. Which, considering that it closes very early, that might have to be a separate surprise tour for everyone. But I hope you are able to join me there as well. Thank you all so much for those of you who hit that tip button, and thank you for all of your reviews. And do follow me if anyone wouldn't mind posting my link for my profile. I would love to have you join me in future tours. In in June, I am also headed to the Cinque Terre area of Italy, which is sort of like the Amalfi Coast, but a little bit. It looks a little bit different, but still very beautiful and very Mediterranean. And then that is at the end of June, and then at the beginning of June, we are headed up to Santiago de Compostela, which is the Camino de Santiago, the ending spot of this this pilgrimage site. So I look forward to sharing all of those with you as well. Oh, thank you, Ruth, for posting the link. Yes, do follow me, and then those other tours should be up in the next week or so. So I look forward to seeing you all there. Again, my name is Kelsey. Thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you. See you next time. Oh, thank you, Ruth. See you next time. Bye.